August 2025. President Trump posts on Truth Social, the CEO of Intel is highly conflicted and must resign immediately. 4 days later, after a tense White House meeting, Trump calls the same man's story amazing and praises his success and rise. That man, Lip Bhuan, the Malaysian-born tech mogul worth up to $758 million, who controls over 40 Chinese companies and invested $200 million in firms tied to China's military. From sleeping in cramped university dorms to leading America's most critical chipmaker, Tan's journey is a high-stakes saga of ambition, wealth, and global intrigue. What happened in that White House room to flip Trump's opinion? The answer unlocks a story where Silicon Valley, international power, and luxury collide, and one man's immigrant dream becomes a geopolitical flashpoint. Welcome to Loyal Luxury, where luxury meets ambition, and power meets intrigue. Today, we're diving into the life of Lip Bhuan, a man whose wealth, influence, and global reach make him one of the most fascinating figures in tech today. From modest beginnings in Malaysia to building a $5 billion venture empire, transforming struggling tech giants, and walking into the White House under presidential scrutiny, Tan's story is as much about luxury and lifestyle as it is about power and strategy. With opulent homes, multi-million-dollar investments, and a family life that mirrors the elegance of his empire, Tan embodies the ultimate Silicon Valley success story, but with stakes that reach far beyond money. From Malaysia to MIT, the nuclear dreams that never were. Born in Muar, Johor, Malaysia, in 1959, Lip Bhuan grew up in a household where intellect met ambition. His father, a chief editor at a major Chinese-language newspaper, and his mother, a devoted teacher, instilled in him the power of education and communication. By the time he moved to Singapore for higher studies, Tan had already shown brilliance in physics at Nanyang University. But the true turning point came when he crossed continents to MIT, chasing a dream in nuclear engineering, a field that promised innovation and prestige. Then, the world shifted. The 3 Mile Island accident in 1979 didn't just shake the nuclear industry, it shook Tan's path. Jobs vanished, the dream of nuclear innovation collapsed, and thousands of engineers were forced to rethink their futures. Tan, recognizing opportunity over attachment, pivoted decisively. Leaving MIT's doctoral program behind, he pursued an MBA at the University of San Francisco, a choice that would unlock doors far beyond nuclear labs. This early adaptability, the courage to abandon sunk costs, and the vision to pivot foreshadowed the bold decisions that would later define his $758 million empire. Building Walden International, the $5 billion venture capital empire. At 28, most people worry about their first big job. Lip Bhuan? He founded Walden International, armed with $20 million from family and friends and a vision to transform Asia's tech landscape. Naming the firm after Thoreau's Walden, he embraced a contrarian philosophy: invest where others feared. While global venture capitalists avoided Asia, Tan recognized the potential of the region's manufacturing might combined with Western tech innovation. By 2001, his early bets had multiplied exponentially. Companies like SMIC, Creative Technology, and Ambarella flourished under Walden's guidance. Forbes hailed him as a pioneer, and over the next 2 decades, Walden would manage over $5 billion, orchestrating more than 100 successful IPOs. Tan's secret? Relationships. Deep, trusted networks across Asia allowed him to anticipate market shifts, align with emerging technologies, and multiply wealth while cultivating influence. His early venture capital triumph cemented him not only as a billionaire investor but also as a global tech power broker, perfectly positioned for future CEO roles. The Cadence transformation, turning around a struggling giant. In 2004, Cadence Design Systems was floundering, declining revenue, low morale, and market share slipping away. By 2009, Lip Bhuan stepped in as CEO, embracing a radical plan to redefine the company. Tan's vision was clear: combine customer-centric innovation with aggressive acquisition, and never shy away from bold moves. Over 12 years, the results were staggering. Cadence's stock soared 3,200%, revenue doubled, and the company became an undisputed leader in electronic design automation software, powering giants like Apple, Nvidia, and Intel. Key moves included acquiring Tensilica for $380 million, expanding in Shanghai, and pivoting to AI-driven design tools. His leadership style, radical transparency, fostered accountability, not fear. Awards followed, including the 2022 Robert N. Noyce Award, cementing his reputation as a visionary who could rescue failing giants and turn them into luxury-tier powerhouses. The China investment web, $200 million in controversial deals. Global influence comes with scrutiny. Between 2012 and 2024, Tan invested $200 million across 600-plus Chinese companies via Walden International, Saga Limited, and Sane Limited. Some of these firms had ties to the People's Liberation Army, triggering security concerns. SMIC, China's largest chipmaker, became emblematic of this tension when it faced U.S. sanctions. Despite controversy, Tan's network spanned major tech hubs like Hangzhou and Wuxi, connecting state-backed enterprises to Western innovation. Critics questioned loyalty. Yet Tan argued strategic investment and global perspective were business imperatives, not political statements. This intricate web of deals, executed with precision and foresight, showcased Tan's unique ability to navigate the delicate line between global opportunity and national security, a skill few executives could master, and few Americans would ever see from the outside. Net worth and luxury lifestyle. The $758 million fortune. Tan's wealth is staggering. $758 million, anchored in Cadence stock, Walden International, and Intel compensation packages. But wealth isn't just numbers, it's lifestyle. Tan and his wife, Issa Liu, reside in Piedmont, California, surrounded by the elegance of Silicon Valley's finest estates. Their two sons, Andrew and Elliot, are Carnegie Mellon engineers, and the family includes 3 grandchildren, blending tech sophistication with generational prestige. Luxury is lived, not flaunted. $25 million in Intel stock purchases, high-end Bay Area real estate, and philanthropy like a $3 million Carnegie Mellon donation reflect both taste and influence. Tan's lifestyle embodies strategic elegance, wealth used as a tool for legacy, power, and family continuity. Even under political and corporate pressure, Tan's life radiates a rare combination of immigrant resilience, elite success, and luxury sophistication. The $140 million Cadence scandal that shook Washington. In July 2025, Cadence agreed to pay $140 million to resolve charges of illegally exporting advanced chip design tools to China's National University of Defense Technology, NUDT, a blacklisted military school specializing in nuclear and defense simulations. While Tan faced no personal charges, the scandal unfolded entirely under his leadership, exposing vulnerabilities in corporate oversight at the highest level. Emails and court filings revealed employees actively concealed shipments, fully aware of sanctions and compliance rules. Washington buzzed. Questions mounted. Could a CEO with such a controversial history and deep Chinese business ties safely lead Intel, America's most critical chipmaker? Analysts and media outlets debated the implications, warning that every corporate misstep now had geopolitical consequences. The scandal highlighted the enormous stakes of running a global tech empire. One decision could ripple across Wall Street, foreign governments, and national security circles. Yet, Tan's ability to weather the storm without personal liability demonstrated not only executive acumen but nerves of steel under extreme pressure, a trait befitting someone who would soon confront the ultimate test, a direct presidential confrontation in the White House, watched by the entire nation. Trump's demand and the White House showdown. On August 7, 2025, President Trump publicly demanded Tan's resignation, declaring on Truth Social that Intel's CEO was highly conflicted and unfit to lead. Intel stock immediately fell 3%, rattling investors and sending shockwaves through Silicon Valley. The nation watched as the immigrant CEO faced a trial by media, politics, and corporate scrutiny. A rare moment where business, national security, and personal reputation collided. Tan responded decisively. He issued a memo to Intel employees, clarifying misinformation, emphasizing his decades-long American residency, and reinforcing his commitment to Intel's mission. Calm under scrutiny. He projected the confidence of a leader who knew that perception often equals reality in moments of crisis. 4 days later, Tan entered the White House for a tense, high-stakes meeting with Trump, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Every moment felt like a negotiation of destiny. By the session's end, the narrative had shifted dramatically. Trump called Tan's story amazing, praising his rise and announcing collaboration on future initiatives. This reversal wasn't just a personal victory, it was proof of Tan's strategic foresight, persuasive genius, and composure under extreme pressure, qualities that would define his legacy in both boardrooms and corridors of political power. For the world watching, it was a masterclass in how a calculated, confident leader turns potential disaster into opportunity. Leading Intel through crisis, the road ahead. As CEO since March 2025, Tan faces Intel at a crossroads. The company posted an $18.8 billion loss in 2024, lagging behind TSMC, Samsung, and Nvidia. Tan's strategy: 1. Financial discipline and cost-cutting. 2. Revitalizing the x86 ecosystem. 3. Strengthening Intel's AI roadmap. He's already cut 15,000 jobs, scaled back risky investments, and leveraged $8.5 billion in CHIPS Act funding. Every decision reflects a mix of luxury-level precision and Silicon Valley audacity. Investors are cautiously optimistic, competitors are watching closely. Tan's challenge is not just profit, but legacy, restoring America's chip dominance while balancing global connections, political scrutiny, and ethical imperatives. Lip Bhuan's story is a masterclass in ambition, strategy, and luxury-infused influence. From dorm room physics student to Intel CEO worth $758 million, he embodies the promise of the immigrant dream, tempered by global scrutiny and geopolitical tension. His life blends wealth, family, power, and philanthropy. His empire spans continents, industries, and boardrooms, surviving a presidential call for resignation, weathering a $140 million scandal, and maintaining a commanding presence at the world's most critical chipmaker. Tan proves that resilience, strategic intelligence, and personal elegance define the modern tech magnate. His story isn't just about money, it's about legacy, influence, and the art of navigating the world's most complex intersections of power. In Tan's world, luxury is not a display, but a reflection of mastery over money, risk, and opportunity, and in this high-stakes game, only the boldest can write history. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Lip Bhuan's extraordinary journey, a story of wealth, power, and global influence. From humble beginnings to Silicon Valley dominance, his life shows how ambition, strategy, and resilience define the ultimate luxury lifestyle. If you enjoyed this insider look, don't miss our next video exploring Bill Gates' rise, fortune, and legacy. Click here to watch.